Welcome to Lolita's Corner. I'm so glad that you have joined us yet another Thursday. We are into our third season of Lolita's Corner. I am so excited about the great guests that we're bringing onto the show to give you information, to share nuggets, wisdom, great things that people are doing in the community. And I'm great to be on today, you guys, with Valerie Houston. We're going to come on and talk about some things. Listen, keep up with me, crumenterprises.com. Lolita is always up to something. The doctor is always doing something. So we are definitely glad that you are joining us on tonight. We appreciate you. Let us know that you're on. Support the show. We appreciate it. Next week, we back with the hot relationship topic that everybody has been asking for. But listen, today I have the wonderful Valerie Houston of Soar Again Nonprofit. Good evening. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for having us. How are you?
I am well. Listen, you are definitely rocking the hat tonight.
Listen, I
You
had to
didn't
do
tell me
something because
I
you
needed my hat on. I should have had a Gremlin hat because I'm repping for Black History Month. My college alumni of Grambling State University. So I'm repping Grambling on tonight. Y'all know I love my
woo-hoo.
black and gold. I had a nerve to put on the little gold lip. You see me?
I see it. I see your lip. I see your glass. I see your little gold lip
Listen,
to the side. You doing it, girl.
I have to be ready when you come on. Now you set the standard. You set the standard, right? So look, we had an opportunity to meet a few years ago. When I think about how far, I don't think you realize that it's been like about 7 years, right?
Wow.
It's been about
Yeah.
7 years, right? You
Yes.
doing this radio show.
Yes, I
You
was.
allowed me to come
Andrea.
on to the show and be a little crazy with you. We had a good time, right? We
We
had a good time.
did. We did.
Yes, and now we have reconnected, and I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in divine connections and divine times and opportunities. And now you are serving creatives through Soar Again. Tell us
Yes.
what Soar Again is and how this serving creatives and what creatives are. Fill us in about that.
Okay, so the organization is called SOAR again, and the acronym for SOAR is Starting Over Access Restored. Personally, I and myself, and along with a few other creatives, I mean, we've been doing this a long time, and there are times when creatives can just get burnout and feel like what they're doing, they're just kind of chasing their tail. And what I have found is a system, a synergetic type of system to bring all of the creatives that I know who are successful in one area or another. Some are totally gifted in the business, some are gifted in the arts, others are gifted in counseling. So what I found was, why don't we create a platform for creatives where they can be recharged, refueled, help to be realigned, and to rebuild them because they get crushed so much. You think about it, I don't care how great Beyonce is, and we know that she's great, but each time she does a project, she's kind of got to go to another level and another height. And some people, when they don't reach those heights, they are left depleted, they are left broken and alone, and they're left to their thoughts, and sometimes those thoughts can be debilitating. And so what we do is we come in and we help them, we help fuel, we help charge, we help provide them with the tools that they need. And I remember you talked about this as well to me one time. It's just about the emotionalism that needs to be, counseled, giving people that kind of level of support. And it started out, with us just kind of doing it on a ministry segment, like we know to do. But then it turned into, wait a minute, there's a group, there's a youth group that is being forgotten. There's a generation that's almost being forgotten. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, we had all kinds of after school programs, all kinds of productions and things. If it wasn't at the church, it may have been the school, or it may be at clubhouses that we were a part of. And we found that a lot of these children don't have that. And so what SOAR wants to do is not just give the children an outlet, but to provide support to their families, to say you don't have to go at this alone. We got you. And we have listen, we've probably failed more than most. But we found a way to bounce back, use that as fuel, use that to learn, and then to be able to say, hey, here's an opportunity, but you don't have to pay for it because I already paid for it through my mistakes.
Wow. You said a lot, right?
Yeah.
Um, most people, oh, excuse me, most
Gotcha.
people don't realize the need for programs like this, right?
Yeah.
So I work with youth and young adults, and a lot of times parents don't have that support, and programs such as yours is the support that they need to cultivate their child, right? Because
Yes.
not every kid is going to go to college.
Right.
Not every kid, you're going to have some that model, some that do trades, some that do the arts, and a lot of times there's not programs out there to support young creatives, especially in music and drawing and singing and things of that nature.
Yeah.
That is just like really, really like phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
So I am just so happy that SOAR is able to do this. And
Yeah.
when you mention creatives, what are creatives? Some people are not aware of what creatives are.
So the way we frame creatives is we deal with the arts. So that's music, spoken word, dance. So music can have several layers to it. It could be the vocalist. It can be the writer. It can be those that are um, scoring the music, or in our terms, playing the instruments. So we and then there's levels with dance, artistic expressions through dance, and even artistic expressions through just spoken word. Sometimes we'll just say, "Oh, they just write poems." No, it's spoken word, and it's moving. I don't know if you've ever been a part of that. When I first saw it, I was like, "Okay, what are we about to do?" But when I tell you, I was so moved by it, and so for us, it's anybody that's looking for an outlet to produce their any layer of creativity. You may be regular in your mind, a regular person, but you feel a passion to creatively write a book. You feel a passion to creatively do something, and that's where we step in to help you, to charge you, to connect you with our resources, to hopefully. Now here's the big thing, Lolita, that I really would like the people that participate in SOAR is, once we give you fuel, you go and you grab somebody else and you fuel them. You empower them. You help rebuild them. So it's almost like a cycle of everybody getting to a place where we're all encouraging, we're all supporting. I know for some that may be a long shot, but I believe it's possible.
That's what the community should be about, right?
Yeah,
You pull me up, I pull you up. You help me learn music, you started music.
yeah,
You help me learn to draw. I think that that is such a missing component in a lot of organizations and programs. They forget that they need to pull somebody else up, you know, and not just creatives, just in life, period. Help somebody else,
yeah.
right?
It's
So
so
listen, what
important.
what can we expect from SOAR this year? I know that you all were doing some poetry things and
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
We had to become, listen, to creatives, we had to become creative in the pandemic.
I'm sure.
We had to become very creative, but it's working. It's working. So we have what's called brunch bites. And what we decided is we're going to come hard to people with information that's very important, but we're gonna give it to them in bite-sized chunks so that they could digest it and not feel overwhelmed by it. Last year we talked about things like people that have been in the armed forces. So we let them tell their story and give the highlights of it and to dispel myths. We talked to parents who had to change their whole lifestyle because of the pandemic. There were times when there was no schooling and people had jobs. And so the husband and the wife had to make a decision because there was no babysitter. There was no big mom that could keep the kids. So they had to make
Right.
decisions. And in those moments, they had to relearn their children, and their children definitely had to learn them. And this year, we kicked off this year with an amazing virtual vision board gathering. We got so much feedback. And so we got stuff coming up in the future called I Am My Hair. And so that particular brunch bite is going to be how your hair speaks. In some instances, it speaks about your health. And so we want to get into those things that are things we don't talk about because people struggle with those areas. And then we're going to launch the Let the Music Move You. And the youth stands for youth operating in unison. And our whole thing is being flexible enough. Like, we have a plan and a strategy. We're going to bring everybody together and we're going to put them in this room and we're going to teach them and we're going to let them perform. Well, we haven't been able to do that. So we've had to reconstruct how we're going to do it. And you're going to be so excited when you see the launch of it, how we kind of reconstructed it and how it's going to be very impactful. And I'm hoping I've gotten to this point, Lolita, where I'm not stuck on that's my idea, nobody else do it. I'm really hoping that somebody grabs it and they take it and they use their influence and do the same thing in their community.
And again, that's helping each other out, right?
Absolutely.
And one person can add value to so much. And I encourage people all the time, don't sit and be silent, because your idea, your strategy can help build up something that's already there and take it to a next level. And sometimes we're so hung up on it's mine and it's my name and all of those good things. I just want to know what made you come up with the name Soar. Because listen, when I think of Soar, I think of eagles.
Yes. Listen, whew, you got me with goosebumps. Listen, first of all, the eagle has always stuck with me because I went to high school. I went to Taft High School, and we are the home of the Eagles.
Come
Woohoo!
on, hey.
And that eagle, it just always stood out to me. It's not the bird. It's not gonna hang with the pigeons. It's not with the chickens. It's not with the crow on the side of the road looking at who it can devour because of somebody's demise. The eagle is always thrusting forth and moving to a whole nother situation. And so about 20 years ago, I started what was called SOAR Management and Production Company. And it was really about trying to help other people. But what I realized, and you kind of showed this to me too, is that you can help people, but you can't suffocate the baby in you. And I was using that as a shield to make myself feel relevant, or not that I didn't have good intentions, but I was pushing them so hard that I didn't even think about what was going on with me. And as those relationships, when we started, it was right on the cusp of social media, right on the cusp of all those things. And so the way we had structured it, when all of those things came, they didn't really need us. They could do everything for themselves. And so I kind of
Right.
let it go by the wayside. And so a year before my mom passed, my aunt came up to me just out of the blue. She was like, that sore thing? God said he ain't through with it yet.
Now
And
you
I
know
was
when
like,
Auntie spoke now.
yes, Auntie spoke. I was like, go sit down somewhere. Nobody asked you.
Right. It's something about when you get those confirmations, right? You get a confirmation, it
Absolutely.
gives you that push for what it is that you need to go ahead and do. And when I think of SOAR, it's such a great need for SOAR, because a lot of creatives, they struggle internally because they don't have an outlet.
Absolutely.
And I have found in the arts, or in the creative world, so to speak, I found that they have a high suicide rate also,
It's a,
because they don't have an outlet.
it's so First of all, the creatives that I work with, first I have to give a shout out to my sister and all of my friends that trust me to join and to help this. And what I find that all of us have the same story is that our highs are very high, but our lows are very low. And a lot of times people are there to praise the highs, but there's not too many people there to feel you when you're at those low moments. Everybody wants you to show up ready to perform, ready to make them feel good again. And nobody takes out the opportunity to say, hey, how are you? How are you? Just how are you? Not how's your music, not how's your song, not how's your art. How are you? And you'll find that a lot of times when you try and have those conversations with creatives, it almost makes them stuck because nobody is, it's not normal for people to check on them. People will praise them, people will say you did good, but it's very rare somebody will just say, how are you? How can I support you? And I know it because I've been that. I've been that creative where I was not checked on. And so for me with Soar Again, it was twofold. For the ones that did check me, I wanted to model those people that really did care for me and help recharge and fuel me. And I wanted to fill in the gap for those that didn't.
Mm, mm. That's good. That's good. And
Yeah.
like you say, they praise the highs, but whatever happened, when I think about, when you said just ask how you're doing, it makes me think of the old school, right? We need to check on such and such. I haven't heard from you.
Yeah.
I need to see, the mother's board noticed that you wasn't at church for 2 Sundays and you didn't make a Bible study and they just didn't see you on your walk anymore during the
Absolutely.
mornings. Let me just check and see how you're doing. And that's so important. I lost my godmother over the last couple of weeks, and at her
I'm
homegoing
sorry.
services, one of the ladies' remarks was she was so used to seeing her, but when she didn't see her in her spot on the porch, she had to go across there and check on her. And
Wow.
that's not what the show is tonight, but I do encourage people, check on your friends.
Yes.
Check on the ones that are strong, right? They normally strong and structured and together. I say all the time, I have a core group of sisters. They have navigated my personality enough to say something not right. You
Absolutely.
didn't sound right. You didn't look right. Something, you have to say it. And when you know somebody is outside of their character, you have to, sometimes you might have to intercede for them when they're not calling and checking in with you because it's definitely something going on and it's not personal, right?
It's
So
not
we got to
personal.
do some checking in, right? So
Absolutely.
listen, what type of creative are you, darling? Besides this hat tonight, with
Listen, I keep telling you, I knew I had to come in and match your diva level because, honey, you be bringing it. I see your pictures when you all on vacation and stuff, but that's
that
okay. I am. There's probably three parts to me. I am the innovator type of creative. Uh,
okay,
uh, uh, I am the person that God will give thoughts to something that does not exist and help it come to fruition. Then I
okay.
am a major supporter, cheerleader for my friends, the people that are doing it. Like a lot of them will pull me in because they know I can help and assist, but I am so okay with cheering them and providing them. Listen, I don't have one issue. I got several degrees, but I have not one issue with bringing somebody a handkerchief if they're sweating. I have not
Come
one
on.
problem with you need me to go. You need me to go set the tables. I have no issue with that because I find that I feel most of my blessings come from that more so than being the innovative person. The third one is one of my strong gifts is a gift of encouragement. And so what I do is I help people envision in their minds like what the thought that's because what I tell people, that thought is there, that you could do it, that didn't come just out the blue. It was birthed in your thought life, and it's supposed to be birthed through your canals. And I need everybody to understand, I can you see yourself as the mother of this idea? Can you see
Mm.
yourself as the father of this idea? Now, there may be cousins and there may be godparents, influencers, such as yourself, Lolita, that
Oh,
will help form it, help bring it to fruition, help make sure that when it does reach a plateau, every I is dotted, every T is crossed. And so for me, I'm learning to accept that. And it has been such a tremendous awakening to my purpose
mm,
to
mm.
be able to see why do you think midwives did what they did? I don't think that they just wanted to be in the slot with the mothers. They
Come
had
on.
joy in seeing somebody bring babies to life. And that's who I am. That's what SOAR represents. Let me help bring this. It may have been a hard delivery, it may have been a hard carry, but I'm here to stand there right with you and say, hey, it's a song.
Come on. Yes.
It's
Yes.
a play. We got us a baby. Let's go.
Yes. And it's funny because when you broke down your three, most people always associate creatives with art, music, poetry. They don't think that a creative is an encourager and a server. Nobody thinks about that and an innovator, right? So that's good. I love how you broke that down because most people don't think of a creative in that way. When you say a creative, they think of wild colored hair, a painter, an artist. Music is the hottest thing with art, dancing
Absolutely.
is with the arts. And I love all of those because I don't do any of those. So, I support the creative.
It's when you said that, it reminds me of the parable when Jesus said that the master was going away and he gave talents to those people, and the ones that got talents, two of them, they multiplied their talents. So yeah, my gift started out with singing and music outside, west side, at my uncle's church,
Come
but
on, West Side of West.
but it that gift garnered other gifts, and that gift garnered other gifts. So when the master comes back, yeah, I gave you two, but oh my God, you've doubled it. And that should be the whole thing with all creatives. Like at some point, the talents that he gives you, first of all, let me say this to all of us. He's not impressed with our talents. He gave them to us. He's impressed with who he is through us, right?
Come
And
on. How
so
you using those?
yeah,
Uh-oh.
how you using them. I think the impression is when we take what he's given to us and we matriculated and develop and cultivate new gifts and new talents to bring it along to the place where it's not just still at its stage of infancy.
That's
That is
good.
now its birth. And so yeah, it started for me singing and directing in a choir, and it led to being called to go across the country and across the world to sing, and then watching those, I'm like, okay, so lights that need to go with this show. Oh, there's scoring. Oh, there's a road manager. Well, let me into the business of this. Oh, that's how they make money off of
Right.
music. That's how these artists can never record again and still be famous. And so each layer, so the essence of the talent is not just what it is what you build upon it.
That's good. That's good. And that's
And
the
and
key.
and and to know when you don't have it. So when I reached out to you 2 years ago, because I dropped your face in my spirit, in my sleep, is to understand one of the greatest things that creatives need to understand is that just because you're great in the arts doesn't make you great in every facet of it. You may not be a great PR person. You may not be a great manager of the administrative part of it. And so you
Right.
need to find somebody. For me, and I hope I can say this, I had to pray about who could I trust, one, to help me with the knowledge, because some people say they'll help, but they don't really help. They, they're fleecing the sheep.
Come on.
Who did I trust, not just to help us, but Lolita, you pulled out the whip a few times. You know what I'm saying? And so all of those things for creatives are necessary. It's necessary, and I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful that God has put you on the earth, and I'm hopeful that people understand that people of your caliber should be sought after and looked at as a mentor.
Oh, amen. Yes, come forth in 2022. And here's the thing, because that's my creative talent, right?
Yeah,
I love nonprofits. Nonprofits are my heart. And like you say, it started from somewhere. And when I think about where it started from, I think about a situation and early on as a young girl in high school, we had a friend that she had a body odor, and it broke my heart. And everybody else wanted to tease her, so I took her some deodorant to school. She wanted to fight me, and it's 30 something years later. She's no longer on this earth, but I think about that because those were nuggets then, right, for me to
yes,
serve. And as you say, I've had the opportunity to go to other countries and to serve those that are less fortunate. And I love that. If I can listen, if God opened a door for me to go and listen, if I could spend 6 months out the country serving
I
others
know you
and
would.
6 months working and supply my household, listen, God's yes would be so quick. But he like to give me some lessons in between, so I take them.
You
But
said a yes would be so quick.
listen. What you say? Listen, baby, I'll leave that job, pack up. I hope they get a 2 week notice, right? So, because I know that that's what I love to do because he's given that to me and helping nonprofits to really do what they love to do. Most nonprofits always have a mission and a purpose, but some of the foundational things have to be laid in order for you to position for those greater things that you're looking to do. So
Absolutely.
I thank you. You all were a joy to have, and you about need a check in, but I'm gonna let you slide tonight on the show. So listen, before we go, please tell the people how they can contact you, donate or give. It is definitely good soil. Everything is not good soil or ground, but I'm here to tell you the people that come on Lolita's Corner is good ground. Let
So
them know
this
how they can reach you.
so you can reach us at soaragainnfp.com on the website. That's our website. We're going to be producing a young lady, a young minority lady. She's going to be writing a screenplay, and SOAR is giving her all the tools. We've got some artists
Yes.
that we're going to be producing singles on, and so we need your assistance and your help to help us. We don't do anything for profit. Everything we get, we give back, and we make sure that they can do it stress free, not to make them feel like we're the genie in the bottle, but to let them know that in phase of life, Soar Again has them. So the website is Soar Again, non for profit, NFP. You can find us on Instagram, which is underscore Soar Again. And then also on Facebook, Soar Again. You'll see my face and my hand is out. So if you don't see me on the cover on Facebook, that's the wrong Facebook. You want to make sure you see that. But we will welcome anybody, whether you can give your time, your treasure, or your talent. We will welcome you to join with us. Please be on the lookout. We got some amazing things coming. And
Listen, I
Lolita,
love that. Your time, what is it? Your time,
your time, your talent, or your treasure.
time, talent, or treasure. Come on, that means you can volunteer, support, or you can definitely sow a seed. Listen, I
Absolutely.
love that time, treasure, talent. I love that. Listen,
Yeah.
I got excited about that. That's really good. Listen, I have definitely enjoyed you on today. It's some nuggets, it's some
Thank you.
enlightenment, it's some inspiring that creatives do have the support that they need, whether it's comedy, music, poetry. Soar Again can definitely help you out. Support Soar. I love them. I'm so glad you came on the show.
Thank
I
you for
really
having us.
appreciate you coming. If you had to give one last nugget to anybody that's listening on tonight, what would that be?
Listen, it will be in the words of Michael Jackson. You are not alone. You got help. You got assistance. Just reach out. You don't have to go through another season feeling depleted or alone. We are here to help recharge you, refuel you, restructure if we need to, and rebuild you because what's in you must come out of you.
Yes, listen. Thank you all so much for joining Lolita's Corner tonight. Join me next week. We back next week with Mr. Waddy. We're going to talk relationships. Oh, my. He is coming back a couple of times this season to talk about relationships. Thank you again so much for joining the show, Valerie. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, Crumb Enterprises. That is me. That is a part of me. Good night. Join us next week. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Goodbye,